guys, I'm the CHALL and welcome back to another video. Now today, it's been revealed. Round of applause to UEFA. Round of applause for being absolute pussies and doing nothing about it. Round of applause. Round of applause. Big, big thumbs up to you. Oh, Jesus Louise. So, basically, they've uplifted the ban. They've overturned it. Man City is only going to be getting a £10 million fine. Like that's going to do anything to anything. I just don't know what's going on with football anymore. I just don't know what's going on. So, I've got an official statement from UEFA. Now, I do have to mention, I believe, now this isn't confirmed or anything, but I think I saw somewhere that the £10 million fine was because they didn't cooperate with UEFA to try and investigate. Like, they let the governing bodies just get on with it. They didn't have anything to say in the investigation, the club. So I'm guessing the fine, the report is the £10 million fine is just a fine for them for not cooperating with their own investigation, which, to be fair, is fair enough. That's a fair enough fine, but seriously, no fine from UEFA or anything like that? And I've seen the comments over other videos and other internet sources and things like that. The owners probably bribed UEFA, and you know what? I think they may be right, but let's just get straight on with it. Let's just read this statement from UEFA, because I'm just freaking done with football right now. City, you will be branded as cheats. I mean, I may not be the maddest person of all, even though I'm a Man U fan. You know, 5th place, 4th place, however the bloody hell we finish. But that's it for Man U. We need to get 4th. We can't get any more than 4th to get in Champions League football now. 5th is not a Champions League place. And I feel sorry for Sheffield United, because their 8th place is now not a Europa League place. You know? So they've got to overturn Tottenham, or they've got to go ahead of Tottenham to get into the Europa League place, which is interesting. Or they've got to overtake Wolves as well, don't forget. So, yeah, very interesting. But let's just share with you the statement from UEFA. So, UEFA's statement officially reads, UEFA takes note of the decision taken by the Court of Arbitration for Sport to reduce the sanction imposed on Man City FC by UEFA's independent club financial control body for alleged breaches of the UEFA club licensing and financial fair play regulations. UEFA notes that the CAS panel found that there was insufficient conclusive evidence to uphold all the CFCB's conclusions in this specific case, and that many of the alleged breaches were time-barred due to the 5-year time period foreseen in the UEFA regulations. Over the last few years, financial fair play has played a significant role in protecting clubs, I'll decide that another day, and helping become financially sustainable, and UEFA and ECA remain committed to its principles. UEFA will be making no further comments on this matter. Basically, UEFA are going to let them walk away with no punishment whatsoever, and we're just going to adapt our own rules and break our own rules. Well done, UEFA. You prats. Well done. Absolutely well done. Now, this answers a lot of, well, not answers, but this asks a lot of questions. Like, would other clubs get away with it? You know, clubs that don't have Saudi Arabian owners, or owners that are worth billions and billions from other countries, you know, that own football clubs, you know, will the more local authorities and the local owners be given a 2-year ban if it was their club? Probably, because they don't have enough money to bribe UEFA. So it's usually the bigger clubs that will succeed. And Man City fans, you know what? Revel in this victory. Revel in it, because I'm sure that a £10 million fine will do nothing for your budget. You will still try and pay for Jadon Sancho, even though you said you didn't want him. You will still try and pay for Skriniar or any world-class player in the footballing fan base at the minute. You will still pay millions and 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 millions of pounds for players that are just world class, and you just want them because of the fun of it. But now, Champions League football goes back to 2nd place. No Champions League football for 5th place. No Europa League football for 8th place. And we're back to square one. Well done, UEFA, for pussying out of doing the right thing. Not punishing them the right way. Now, financial fair play regulations, there's a lot of questions that's been asked about that, whether the rules should be changed or whether the rules should have been adapted. I think they should have done that years ago. Now, the Premier League is still holding an investigation from what we know on Man City. So, the Premier League is still holding their investigations, and we heard the talk months ago about how, if the Premier League had a different verdict, then maybe the title wins in 2012 and 2016 were, upheld and removed, so there wouldn't be champions that year, so that would make Liverpool champions in 2016, and of course in 2012 the champions would be Man United. But I think the talk at the minute is that not 2016, sorry, 2015. What am I saying? But I think the talk at the minute is the Premier League aren't really doing anything yet. I think they were just waiting on the verdict from UEFA to do something. But people can call me biased and say, "Oh, I'm a Manchester rival, so I am going to be angry, aren't I?" Well, it's not just that I'm a Man U fan that I'm angry. It's the fact that UEFA have pussied out and not done anything, and the CAS panel, they've given into bribery. They've probably been bribed millions of pounds to overturn the verdict. You know what Man City's like? Cheating the money. It's just pathetic, to be honest, and there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. There's a clear sense that people think bribery is the solution for this overturning of verdict. I think they should have been banned. I think even just 1 year out of Champions League football would have been enough for a ban. Because, you can't breach financial fair play regulations. I don't get why it's not such a massive penalty in the sport. Especially with so much money being ploughed into the top divisions of football around the world. I don't get why there isn't tougher laws on financial fair play regulations. And you know what's going to happen? If they do fix these laws and make them tighter, a club that doesn't have as much money as City that breaks these regulations will get a tougher ban, and they may not survive. They may go down a couple of divisions and they may become a sleeping giant. There's loads of sleeping giants out there that have suffered at the hands of financial impacts. Even like EFL clubs that are sleeping giants, they've suffered administration. Bigger clubs than other clubs have suffered administration through financial impacts in a negative way. Things like ITV Digital, things like bad ownership. All these things are negative financial impacts, and these things have dented clubs. Man City may be alright now, but the next club may not have as much money as City, and they may be more financially hit, or they may have a bigger dent on their financial value than Man City have got. So it's like they want to use Man City as an example of, we'll let you get away with it, but next time we won't be so easy. But what's fair about that? Why can't you just give Man City a 1 year ban or a full 2 year ban, along with £100 million fine, or whatever big fine it is, definitely over the £50 million mark in my opinion, or euros, whatever the bloody hell currency you want to use that and take that ban on City as a blueprint to say to clubs, we're doing this to City, we're going to be extra tough on them, we will do it to you if you break these regulations. But no, because Man City have got billions in the bank, so you know what, we'll let them bribe us to overturn the verdict, we'll overturn the verdict, then we'll make the rules tighter, and then we'll ruin lower football clubs. Lower status football clubs will get ruined because we let City off. We let them walk scot-free. What's fair about that? What's fair about that? And I'm sick and bloody tired of people at the higher end of football thinking they can just get away with it. These people that are overturning the verdicts and letting them get away with it need to be accounted for. And they need to make the rules tighter. Yes, I agree, financial fair play rules need to be looked at, because if they're getting away with it, with the rules that are in place at the minute, yes, there should be questions about that. But I think UEFA need to come out now and say, even though there's no 2 year ban and there's only a £10 million fine for whatever reason, we believe that the only fair way to do this is to bring in a £100 million fine from UEFA to the club as a future payoff. So if the rules get changed and they get made tougher, and the City case fails those brand new rules, those tougher financial fair play regulation rules, then we should be able to give them a bigger fine from us, along with the £10 million, euro, whatever, that fine from somewhere else. So, you know, the new rules can apply to City for their previous case. Yes, it may not seem fair on City fans, but I don't care. It needs to be fair on everyone, not just City. You can't feed one child and leave the rest to starve and die of malnutrition, which is what's going on in the world, so that's disgusting already. But you can't praise one and damn the rest of them to hell, because that's not fair. That's not fair. And it's just, there's so many problems in football. And you know what? Alan Shearer said this when England lost to Iceland in the Euros 2016 when Roy Hodgson was in charge. And I'm going to say it again. And this applies to everything at the minute with football. We hype up our Premier League to be the best league in the world. And we all know it's not. We all know it's not. Because we've got overpaid players that are just going through the motions, not caring about the sport, not caring about the game. People, owners, getting away with financial fair play breakages. The Man City case. Down the league, you've got Wigan in the Championship that could be given that's going to be given a 12-point deduction either this season if they get relegated, or if they stay up, or next season when they're going to get a minus 12-point deduction if they get relegated to League One. How is that fair? How's that fair? Football is just a hyped... Well, the English Premier League and the English Championship and things like that are just a hyped up version of local leagues. It's just hyped up. There's more money involved. And, you know, back in the 1990s, people were saying it. Football is not a sport anymore. It's just a business. It's just money. And that's not why we fall in love with football in the first place. We fell in love with football because we love it. We absolutely love it. In fact, hang on a minute. I fell in love with my club, Donny Rovers, because I love the club. Not because I think, oh, there's a massive future opportunity with money that we could get a massive financial takeover in the future. No, we've got an owner that's local, that backs the fans, that backs the manager. Careful spenders. Yes, we might not be the biggest spenders in the league, but that's because we are one of the best financially run clubs in the country because we are careful with how we spend our money. We're not one of these clubs that's going to spend $1 million, $2 million, $5 million on one player that's going to turn out to be a flop. We carefully spend on the future and on the way we play our football. Yes, we're in League One, but I think we could be in the Premier League in a few years' time, in the next 10, 15 years. And that is because we have an owner that will spend in the right places at the right time. The Premier League have owners that won't spend money, that won't develop clubs, but they'll bring in TV rights and licenseship and business deals and things like that. So they don't care about the football, they care about the business side of things. There's a lot of clubs in the Premier League that do that. So football isn't about passion anymore, it's about money for them. And like I said, Alan Shearer said it in the Euros 2016 when we lost to Iceland. We hype up our own league and it's not the best league in the world. I agree. Even to this day, I agree. Because we've got VAR problems. We've got ownerships that need to be handed out. You know, people that spend money on other projects. Stan Kroenke looking at you. We've got refereeing problems. I said it yesterday in my review of the North London Derby when I was very explicit in my response. Probably the first time I swore on this channel. But, you know, why is there no referees refereeing European and worldwide competitions in the international circuit? Because they're not good enough. Because they're not good enough. You know? And, you know, it's these kind of problems, VAR, refereeing, ownerships, putting people first, players thinking they can get away with not playing and collecting £500,000 a week to play Fortnite every week. Mesut Ozil, an example. Yes, he was doubtful in that North London derby yesterday, but the past few weeks, you know, ironically, he seems to be picking up knocks everywhere. So why is that? Why is that not, you know, accountable for? You know, he wants to see out the rest of his contract. He's stealing money off the club. You know, Stan Kroenke is stealing money from Arsenal Football Club. The Glazers were stealing money from Man United Football Club. Ed Woodward was stealing money from the football side of Man United Football Club and not spending enough. and then we overplay on players that don't perform up to 10 out of 10 standards every week. You know, it's a business. Football is a business, and it shouldn't be. It should be about passion. It should be about the love of the game, and it's just been lost, and the love of the sport has been lost, and we need to recuperate that. We need to recover that. So, yeah, so that's this video on Man City. I mean, fans, revel in your victory if you want, but he still cheats. I think he still cheated the system. You bribed your way out of it, and yeah, just F you, really. Thank you very much, guys. I'm the CHALL. Please like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for BBL Off the Court episode 2, and goodbye.